So next what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at your zone of competence. So this is skills that you are good at, you are able to do, you are competent at, you can accomplish them, you can do the task in hand or do the activity, but you're kind of a good skill set, and everyone else is kind of similar to that. You know, you're not particularly exceptional, stand out different about it, but you're competent at doing them. And so when you're thinking about this zone of competence, these are things that you probably do day in, day out. They're probably things that you don't get a sense of like buzz from as such, but you can just do. And you've maybe learned these skills over time, or you've naturally just had to do it as part of your work or part of your life. And like I say, they just don't particularly stand out, but they're things that you're competent at. And what you can do with these is we're going to be doing the same thing we did with yesterday's exercise, where we're going to be listing out, you know, your work side of things, but also looking at, you know, life in general, you know, what are the things that you're generally competent at. The cooking example I gave a few days ago, a prime example of something, whether you're competent at it or whether you're particularly excellent at it, or is it a zone of genius? You know, where are you sitting with that? And just thinking of those kind of examples for things, and thinking, you know, what are the things that if you filled your day with them, you'd neither be boosted up or dropped down by. These are usually your competent things. You can just do them, and they don't really boost you up, they don't really bring you down. You just kind of get on with them. And the important thing with this is, what I would say is, you could obviously list a lot of things. We are very competent in a lot of areas. What I would say with this list particularly is, what you want to do is thinking to what I gave you yesterday, is thinking about what are some of the things that you would actually, that you're competent at, that you would love to skill up on, that you would love to become your zone in, or fall within your zone of excellence, for example. What is something that you want to skill up on? What is something that you would want to do more of, or that you would want to really enhance your already competent skills in? So, you know, the cooking example could be something where, you know, you're a reasonably good cook, but actually, do you know, I would love to be an excellent cook. I would love to host dinner parties. I would love to cook different cuisines. I would love to learn different recipes and learn to bake bread, for example. And it is something that I actually would like to kind of skill up on and actually do a little bit better, because, you know, it's something that I think I would really enjoy, and I could become excellent at it. I'm competent enough to feel like I could be excellent enough at it. I've got a baseline skills. If you feel that there is that motivation there for that particular thing on your list, then pop that onto your zone of competence list. But then also, again, like we did yesterday, mark it as something you want to skill up on. Mark it as something you want to get better at. And equally, some of the things that you are competent at, you might find that you spend a lot of your day just doing things that you're competent at. Now, obviously, what I've talked to you about is that competency is where it doesn't really buzz you up and it doesn't really bring you down. It just kind of just sits in the middle and just is okay. But a day full of things that are just okay, and a day full of things that don't buzz you up and don't motivate you and don't fulfill you huge amounts is probably not your dream day either. So what I would say with these two lists is, be selective of things that you either want to skill up on and you would want to get better at, or things that you actually think, do you know, I'm competent at this, but my day is filled a huge amount by this one thing or this one activity or these certain types of activities, and I would actually be in a position where I'd actually want to like reduce the amount of time I spend doing the things that I'm competent in, because remembering the next few days that we've got things in zone of excellence and zone of genius that we want to be spending time on. And if our days are filled with things that we're just competent at that don't really boost us up in any way, then we need to carve out some time for that. So we need to think, what are some of the things that we're maybe competent at that we could maybe look at like reducing a little bit, or we can try and batch and consolidate so that we don't have to do them and it doesn't take up all of our day, which then leaves us space and time to be able to go into our zone of genius and zone of excellence a little bit more. So for those ones, for the zone of competence ones, I would make those two lists again, you know, thinking about life, and then just thinking maybe some work specific ones as well, which are quite interesting. And then again, marking the two. So marking, what are the things I want to skill up on, I want to get better at, because I feel like it's something I would love to enjoy learning about. And also, what are the things that are really time consuming and are taking up a lot of my day that actually I think I could probably find a way to do quicker or in less time, or, you know, that would take up less of my day. And so these are really important things to sort of mark out in the exercise. And then what we want to look at next as well in this section is, you know, thinking about with those things, with those lists, being very conscious of, okay, the ones that I want to skill up on, are they potentially things that leverage a little bit of my zone of genius maybe as well? Because you'll probably find where that little bit of motivations come from is just maybe it is touching on something that inherently, naturally, your skill set is there, but you just haven't developed it enough or given it the space enough to really embrace sort of your zone of genius in that area as well. So just consider all of these things and just get journaling down and making some lists, and then just start marking them off. And then, yeah, tomorrow we're going to be looking at zone of excellence and then also zone of genius.